So apparently there's this new test going around called the 16 personalities test. I'm not sure how new it is, but I'm sure it's been around for a while, the same with the political compass test. But that's what what the YouTube and social media influencer environment has been taking a crack at, right? I've taken the political compass test. If you want to go watch that, link in the description below. But today we're going to be taking the 16 personalities test and seeing how freakishly accurate it actually is. Because, as it says on the screen here, it's telling me it's so incredible to finally be understood. Take our personality test and get a freakishly accurate description of who you are and why you do things the way you do. I've seen Ben Shapiro take it. There are other individuals that have taken it. Ben Shapiro is the only one I've actually watched take, and that's kind of why I'm doing this one today. So without further ado, I kind of want to go and take it myself. All right, so it says free personality test, fast and easy, be yourself, complete it all. Okay, so it takes less than 12 minutes, so hopefully we can get through that a little bit quicker. All right, so here's question 1, right? Before we go any further, I want to say that this video is sponsored by ballerhoodies.com. Baller Hoodies is a great pro-Trump, right-leaning merch website. Please, if you're ever going to look for a mask, a hoodie, a new t-shirt, a new jacket, please go ahead and click on the link in the description below to go to ballerhoodies.com. Order your next right-leaning merch off of their website, ballerhoodies.com. You enjoy vibrant social events with lots of people. I'm going to have to go with moderately disagree. I'm not a big social guy myself, but that's just the way I am. You often spend time exploring unrealistic yet intriguing ideas. I agree with that to a greater extent. I'll be down here planning. As you can see, I have a little plaque over here. I'm down here planning all the time about some people unrealistic things, but in my opinion, they're pretty cool. Your travel plans are more likely to look like a rough list of ideas than a detailed itinerary. I would somewhat disagree on that one, only because I try to keep myself organized, but they eventually do lead to just a rough list of ideas. That's why I somewhat disagree. You often think about what you should have said in a conversation long after it's taken place. I strongly agree on that one. Not all the way to the the most agreeable one, but I do agree to that in a little bit. If your friend is sad about something, your first instinct is to support them emotionally, not try to solve their problem. I guess I'll agree with that one. People can rarely upset you. Yeah, I agree with that one to a stronger level, because once you get upset so many times, you can't get more upset, right? So we are 10% done with the test. You often rely on other people to be the ones to start a conversation and keep it going. I disagree strongly. I talk too much as I'm talking right now, and I never shut up. So that's that one. If you have to temporarily put your plans on hold, you make sure it is your top priority to get back on track as soon as possible. I strongly agree on that one. You rarely worry if you made a good impression on someone you met. I somewhat disagree on that one, only because I think first impressions matter the most. And I think that's what people can base you off of. If someone presents themselves as trash the first time, I won't expect anything better than that on the second time. So I do try to make a good impression. It would be a challenge for you to spend the whole weekend all by yourself without feeling bored. I strongly disagree on that one. I spend a lot of time alone by myself anyway right now, and it's perfectly fine. As long as I have books like this one, White Guilt, great book. Free to Choose by Milton Friedman's also on there. You can never get bored. You're more of a detail-oriented person than a big picture person. I do like looking at the big picture a lot, but also looking at details, so I'm not sure. I guess I would say I'm a bit more detail-oriented though. Okay. You are very affectionate with people you care about. I somewhat agree. I think I disagree a little bit. I'm not a very affectionate person, I'm sorry to say. You have a careful and methodical approach to life. I agree with that. You are still bothered by the mistakes you made a long time ago. I somewhat agree. Some of them I do care about a lot, some of them I don't care as much about. At parties and similar events, you can mostly be found farther away from the action. I somewhat agree to that. Sometimes I do care about looking at what happens, sometimes I don't. You often find it difficult to relate to people who let their emotions guide them. True, I strongly agree on that one. When looking for a movie to watch, you can spend ages browsing the catalog. I strongly agree because, if I'm watching Netflix or something, I'm always looking for a while. You can stay calm under a lot of pressure. I strongly agree on that one. I don't seem to fold. I don't choke. When in a group of people you do not know, you have no problem jumping right into the conversation. Strongly agree. When you sleep, your dreams tend to be bizarre and fantastical. I somewhat agree. In your opinion, it is sometimes okay to step on others to get ahead in life. I agree with that one. Obviously, maybe if you want to be capitalism exploits people, I guess you could say I exploit people. You are dedicated and focused on your goals, only rarely getting sidetracked. I strongly agree. If you make a mistake, you tend to start doubting yourself, your abilities, or your knowledge. I somewhat agree to that as well. When at a social event, you rarely try to introduce yourself to new people and mostly talk to the ones you already know. I'm gonna have to disagree with that one. I'm gonna disagree. I disagree on that one. You usually lose interest in a discussion when it gets philosophical. I guess I'm gonna say somewhat disagree to an extent. You would never let yourself cry in front of others. I mean, I guess I'd say agree. If you want to say that's a toxic masculinity that prevails in society today, I guess that's an example of that. You feel more drawn to places with a bustling and busy atmosphere than to more quiet and intimate ones. I would prefer going to like a busy area compared to like a non-busy area. So I guess I somewhat agree. You like discussing different views and theories on what the world will look like in the future. Somewhat agree. When it comes to making life-changing choices, you mostly listen to your heart rather than your head. Oh, as unfortunate as it is, I strongly agree with that one. You cannot imagine yourself dedicating your life to the study of something that you cannot see, touch, or experience. Well, I guess I am dedicating my life to, my dreams, right? And my dreams are to, educate individuals. And I guess education would be an abstract form of, something. So I guess I'm going to disagree on that one. You usually prefer to get your revenge rather than forgive. I disagree completely. The last few times I don't really go out for revenge. I think I personally think that karma will prevail, and because look, right, if someone does hurt you or someone does wrong you, I prefer to let nature take its course. Like sometimes for the better. I mean, it happens, right? And I don't want to be that guy that gets them back. It's like they're probably dealing with their own things in life, and let them be bad themselves. You have to make decisions on a whim. I somewhat agree on that. The time you spend by yourself often ends up being more interesting and satisfying than the time you spend with other people. I strongly agree with that one. As narcissistic as that may be, I strongly agree with that one. You often put special effort into interpreting the real meaning or the message of a song or a movie. 1,000%. When I'm listening to music, pop culture, rap songs, or I'm watching great movies, I try to see a true story. I try to think of how does this scenario affect my life, right? You always know exactly what you want. I strongly agree with that one. You rarely think back on the choices you made and wonder what you could have done differently. I somewhat disagree. I always think about what I could do. I disagree completely, actually. I always think about what I could have done rather than what I did. What I should have done, what I could have done, what I would have done. When in a public place, you usually stick to a quieter and less crowded areas. I'm going to disagree with that one. I prefer seeing what's going on in the middle. You tend to focus on present realities rather than future possibilities. I strongly disagree. Like when I'm working on political dropout, right? I focus a lot on what we could be, right? What we could be in a year, 12 months. You often have a hard time understanding other people's feelings. I strongly disagree on that one. When starting to work on a project, you prefer to make as many decisions up front as possible. Agree. When you know someone thinks highly of you, you always wonder how long it will be until they become disappointed in you. I strongly agree with that one. You feel comfortable just walking up to someone you find interesting and striking up a conversation. It depends, right? If it's someone that, it's a bit, it depends, right? So I'm going to say somewhat agree. You often drift away into daydreaming about various ideas or scenarios. I've stopped doing that. I think I focus a lot on the present, not as much as I focus on the future, but I've stopped, daydreaming a lot. So I guess I somewhat agree. You look at yourself yourself first, and others come in second. Let me think about that. I've begun to do that often now, so I guess I'm gonna say I agree. You know, even when you have planned a particular daily routine, you usually just end up doing what you feel like at any given moment. That I strongly agree with that. It always happens. Your mood can change very quickly. I strongly agree with that. You often contemplate the reasons for human existence or the meaning of life. I disagree. I mean, I know what the meaning of life is, and in my opinion, right, the meaning of life is just to, do what you want, and at least for me, it's to leave as big of a mark on the world as you can. That's my meaning to life. But I also am knowledgeable of the fact that some individuals would rather just have a happy life, get kids, just watch them, go to little league games with them, and call that a day, right? But we all have different meanings to life, and I acknowledge that. But I do contemplate a lot about it. Yeah, and I don't contemplate too much about it. But yeah. You often talk about your own feelings and emotions. Actually, I'm going to say somewhat agree to that. 80%, we're almost there. You have got detailed education or career development plans stretching several years into the future. Somewhat agree. I mean, obviously, I have an idea as to what I want to be in the future, but the details of it are not as precise. So maybe I'll say somewhat agree because that's going to be better. You rarely dwell on your regrets. I somewhat disagree. Spending time in a dynamic atmosphere with lots of people around quickly makes you feel drained and need to get away. I somewhat agree with that. You see yourself as more of a realist and a visionary. My friends tell me I'm a visionary. I see myself as a realist. So what do I see myself as more? I see myself, it's funny that this question was asked because, I spent time speaking with my friends, and it's like, these are very optimistic plans. I'm like, no, these are realistic plans. They see me as a visionary. I see myself as a realist. So the question is, I'm strongly agree with that one actually. You find it easy to empathize with the person who has gone through something you never have. For some reason, I strongly agree with that question. Your personal work style is closer to spontaneous bursts of energy than to organized and consistent efforts. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to somewhat agree to that. Not as much, but I somewhat agree to it. We're almost there. Your emotions control more than you control them. I've stopped doing that, so I'm going to somewhat disagree to that. After a long and exhausting week of fun parties, what you need. I strongly disagree. You frequently find yourself wondering how technological advancement could change everyday life. I don't think about that at all. I think about how I can change it. I focus on what I have, in front of me. You always consider how your actions might affect other people before doing something. I somewhat agree to that. You still honor the commitments you have even made, even if you have a change of heart. Strongly agree. Finish what you started, right? You rarely feel insecure. Let me think. No, I mean, a lot of times either A, king of the world, or B, the worst person in the world. So I guess I'm going to have to go with just somewhat agree to that. So let me see my results, right? Your personality type is an advocate. This is interesting. This is very, very interesting. I don't know what that means, but we're gonna see what that is. So in the mind, I'm 51% introverted. Energy, I am 53% intuitive. Nature, I am 58% feeling. 65% judging. Wow. And 63% turbulent in my identity. So let me start reading as to what it means. Treat people as if they ought to be you, and you help them to become what they are capable of being. That's pretty interesting. That's an interesting way to say that, right? So an advocate. The advocate personality type is very rare, making up less than 1% of the population, but they nonetheless leave their mark in the world. Advocates have an inborn sense of idealism and morality, but what sets them apart is that they are not idle dreamers. These individuals are capable of taking concrete steps to realize their goals and make a lasting, positive impact. So far, I think it's pretty accurate. People who know me, if it's not accurate, let me know why. People with this personality type tend to see helping others as the purpose in life. Advocates can often be found engaging in rescue efforts and doing charity work. However, their real passion is to get to the heart of the issues. The people need not to be rescued at all. I don't want to get political, but this is giving me like weird vibes right now. Like, I don't know. I mean, it's true, but it's just like, is this what I am? Let's go to strengths and weaknesses. Creative, insightful, inspiring and convincing, decisive, determined and passionate, altruistic. Our weaknesses, here we go. Sensitive, okay. Extremely private, that's pretty true. Perfectionistic, unfortunately. Always need to have a cause, that is very true. Like, I don't want to be doing things without having a cause. Can burn out easily. Advocates often pursue expressive careers such as writing, effective communicators that they are, and author many popular blogs, stories, and screenplays. Music, photography, design, and art are viable options too. They focus on deeper themes of personal growth, morality, and spirituality. That's what I'm saying, right? I'm not the kind of guy who would study the history of art. I don't care about that. But it's saying that I am, and low-key kind of true. Life is too short to stumble around grasping at scattered and contradictory advice that may work for 90% of the population, but not you. Okay. And yeah, in all honesty, the 16 personalities test, I genuinely think it's very accurate. It made me think about some things like, wait, is that who I am? And it's like, wait, I am that person. Like, I know that sounds pretty weird as what I just said, but it's 100% true. I think that the advocate fits who I am. I think the 16 personalities test is definitely something that everyone should do. Perhaps not even post on YouTube, but just should do. Did you enjoy this video? If so, give us a thumbs up on our channel, subscribe down below, and it would mean the world if you can go on our website, find an article that you like, share it with a friend, help grow our name with The Political Dropout on thepoliticaldropout.com so we can bring you more content like this. Now don't be afraid to go watch some more videos.